Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Damn, I missed you guys, man. I needed that. I needed that break. I appreciate everyone for the patience. But let's have some fun, y'all. We got a good hour banger coming up to start off this week. Sit back, relax, leave a like, and enjoy the show.
Let's talk about Taylor Swift. Here we see some one-eye symbolism. Again, more of the same symbolism here with her video with Kendrick Lamar, as well as we see a little more on her Midnight vinyl cover. Here we see a picture of her holding an apple, aka the forbidden fruit, with a bite taken out of it. Not to mention that she eerily resembles this lady, Zena LaVey. And it just so happens that lady that she looks exactly like happens to be the daughter of Anton LaVey, aka the creator of Some Evil Stuff. Mind you, Zena LaVey is 65 years old and Taylor's just over 30, so it's very possible there is some relation. Here we see a picture from her song titled Willow, the music video, which also has a lot of occult meaning. She would later go on to perform Willow at her concerts, and, well, watch the clip. And if that wasn't weird enough, she's being surrounded in a circle, almost worshipped, and we see her throw up this popular hand symbol we see a lot in Hollywood. And who could forget this clip from her hit song Karma? So people for years have associated her with possibly casting spells on her audience, etc. We'll check out the first clip from that same music video, Karma. And how about when she was with Ice Spice at the Super Bowl? Roll it.
We all saw that.
But I'm sure it's just all one giant coincidence. Right, guys?
Show you how the fucking moon landing was fucking bullshit because everyone's telling you that was fucking wrong.
Showed me.
Yeah. So fucking explain to me. Here you go. The guy's getting off the rocket ship. Who the fuck is filming him? Who's filming him?
A guy?
How'd the fucking guy get up there if this is the first guy that's supposed to be on the fucking moon? A different rocket ship?
I don't know.
So they sent the rocket shit up there. He got off and he's like, all right, come on up now. I'm ready to fucking film. Are you fucking serious?
Rocket ship?
He's supposed to be the first guy on the moon. It's bullshit. The car. How the fuck did the car fit in that rocket ship? Look, how did that car fit in the rocket ship?
I don't know.
Okay, you're right. More bullshit. Then the guy's floating around with a big fucking cord to his stomach, and they're telling you that's his fucking, life support. What's it give? Was it fucking feeding him through the fucking tube like a baby? They're bouncing around like a fucking jerk off. Yeah, watch. Let me show you. There it goes. Bye-bye. You know what? I'm going to stay behind. You guys go back there and I'll fucking die up here. And how the fuck did he get the film?
Grand Canyon is a trip. Need to get out there.
Oh, my smile's very crooked. I don't like this. Oh, am I cross-eyed? No, am I cross-eyed actually? Why is this eye bag bigger than this eye bag?
That's a light.
Wait. So how do I get my smile to not be crooked?
How about Taco Bell? Taco Bell puts essentially sand. No, silicon bicarbonate. So they're beef filling. They're not allowed to call it beef filling. They have to call it taco filling because the beef has silicon in it to make it fuller. Look it up.
36% beef, 64% is made with fillers.
What if the Flintstones is not set in the past, but in a future after the end of the world? The show looks like the Stone Age. Cavemen, dinosaurs, and stone houses. But they also have cars, TVs, and even fast food restaurants. Some fans think this is not a mistake. It's because they're living after a huge disaster, rebuilding society with whatever they remember. This ties into the great Gazoo theory. Gazoo is an advanced alien with futuristic tech. Why would he visit the Stone Age unless it was actually his future too? So maybe the Flintstones is not about the dawn of humanity. It's about a future where the Stone Age starts all over again.
There was a
They tell us in these shows, don't they? And it just goes right over our head, right over our head. They get us when we're little. Tell us when we're little, when we're naive, we're not really paying attention. I bet if we go back and watch a lot of these cartoons and things like that, we will catch a lot more stuff that when we're little, we don't even, we don't know what's going on when we're little.
where they used to show those old Roadrunner cartoons.
Yes.
Where they were hyper violent.
Yeah.
Where they were blowing things up and hitting each other in the head with frying pans and shooting each other in the face. And it was okay. Well, I watched some old Popeye the other day. And Bluto is basically yes, thank you.
Yes.
A straight up olive oil.
Yeah.
Like big fat face with his crazy
Yeah.
beard. And he's like, wah! She's trying to fight him off, and Papa's like, hey, let go of me, girl. Let go of me, girl.
It's Velveeta versus cheddar. Our Velveeta melts much better.
This looks like cheese, right? But it isn't. This syrup, no maple tree involved. And this was literally held together with wood pulp and sold to the consumer as Parmesan cheese. In the United States, you are likely eating food that's banned or tightly regulated in much of Europe. And no one's telling you, because technically, they don't have to. In comparison to much of the European Union, there are far fewer protections on food labeling, and the ones that are there are only subject to what a reasonable consumer would believe. This was, in fact, the basis for a U.S. district judge's dismissal of a Pop-Tart lawsuit in Chicago. No reasonable consumer would believe that the filling in a Pop-Tart contained a certain amount of strawberries based on the image on the package and its use of the term strawberry. But fake foods aren't just misleading. They're also becoming incredibly common. According to a new analysis led by researchers at Johns Hopkins, they found that more than half of the calories consumed at home by adults in the United States come from ultra-processed foods. So what is fake food exactly? And how did America become the imitation nation while Europe said no? Well, let's take a look. Fake food, or imitation food, is a legally defined category in the United States. It looks like food, it's sold like food, but it's chemically or structurally altered to be cheaper, longer lasting, and more marketable. Some examples: pasteurized processed cheese product, non-dairy whipped topping, bacon bits with no bacon, wasabi from chemicals, vanilla without the bean, and truffle oil that's really just canola oil with a chemical flavorant. Same with this 100% cranberry juice. 100% juice blend cranberry. It is disclosed, but the size of the font and the blend versus cranberry seems a bit misleading, don't you think? And listen, I get it. Part of this comes down to economics. It takes over 40 gallons of maple sap just to make one jug of real maple syrup. That's why a single bottle costs over $10 and your local grocery store is flooded with a plethora of imitation syrups that don't have any maple sap at all. But hey, they're easier on your pocketbook. But the growing falsification of our foods means that literal tons of items on grocery store shelves and on restaurant plates are imitations of the real thing. Because the push for healthier, low-fat, low-sodium, low-sugar, and low-cost options in processed foods sounds great on paper, but it often means cutting out the very ingredients that gave our childhood favorites their nostalgia. No, really, the food of your childhood did taste different, and the legality of this practice is a bit fuzzy at best. Officially, the US does have laws on food labeling. To prevent this deception on food labels, both the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, and the Food Safety and Inspection Service, the FSIS, have regulations and guidance documents governing food labeling claims. But so long as there have been rules, companies have been quick to find the loophole. For example, while the US agreed to discontinue the labeling of sparkling wine as champagne in a 2006 wine trade agreement with the European Union, you can still find California champagne on store shelves today. Now, some people have pushed back on this. Lawsuits, often class action lawsuits, are brought when the label does not reflect the content of the product.
Unbelievable! I always wanted to know how you elves got the stripes on your fudge stripe cookies.
So, for example, some lawsuits like fudge cookies containing no butter, whole wheat crackers made mostly of refined flour, smokehouse almonds not cooked with real smoke. You get my point. Many of the lawsuits cite the 1975 Magnuson-Moss Warranties Act, which governs warranties on consumer products at the federal level. While the act does not directly address food labeling, it can be indirectly relevant when food labeling claims are considered warranties. In one example, the Godiva chocolatier faced a class action lawsuit for deceptive labeling due to its Belgium 1926 packaging, despite the chocolate being made in the United States. The lawsuit alleged that the labeling led consumers to believe that the chocolate was made in Belgium, implying higher quality and origin. Godiva argued the label indicated the company's founding year and location, but the court sided with the consumers, leading to a $20 million settlement. But despite the picture that I've painted thus far, not all fake food is bad, and in many cases you might prefer it for your own ethical reasons, like having oat milk in your latte or a Beyond Beef patty in your burger.
Terrible.
And
for
fake
you.
foods have also allowed those with dietary restrictions and allergies to enjoy a much broader array of dishes, like with imitation crab, which is generally considered safe to eat during pregnancy because it is typically made from cooked pollock and other ingredients that are low in mercury. But before I get too ahead of myself, I think it's important that we go back and briefly ask, how did we get here?
Mother Murphy, lucky me. My wife uses Swanson TV turkey dinners. And make your husband lucky, too.
After World War II, workers needed convenience, and food companies stepped in, offering frozen dinners, processed cheese, and powdered eggs. Shelf life became king, and flavor came from chemistry. But we didn't go from scratch-made to science experiment overnight.
What if the Flintstones is not set in the past, but in a future after the end of the world? The show looks like the Stone Age, cavemen, dinosaurs, and stone houses. But they also have cars, TVs, and even
is the opposite because anyone can walk in. That might be the new, that might be the new way that a lot of these businesses are going to handle this. Walmart and Costco show what happened when rides are free. Costco has a membership fee. Parking lots, loading docks, and stores are spotless. There are no deranged people wandering about. No one using the restroom as a bathhouse. Shoplifting is minimal, and employees are motivated and helpful. Walmart is the opposite because anyone can walk in. That might be the new, that might be the new way that a lot of these businesses are going to handle this. Pay us a $5 fee, or you got to show your, the thing we all hate, our app. And there's someone at the door that lets you in. That may be the new future of retail. It's just the Costco Sam's Club model for everything.
The first, that might be a good idea. Now, hear me out. Because if that happens, there's going to be other companies that are going to be like, free over here. You come over here, you don't got to pay membership, right? But it will get rid of a lot of the stealing. It'll get rid of the dirtiness. I mean, because Sam's Club and Costco they're spotless. Their employees are nice. Their employees get paid pretty good, I believe. I would be for that, right? Just to be somewhere safe and, I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you guys think about a Walmart, like a Costco or a Sam's Club, but not in bulk? Like, I like to go to Sam's Club for a few things, but, it's just me, Mama Bear, and the baby, right? I don't need 50 toilet paper rolls, but I would pay that membership to go to Walmart, y'all, just for the cleanliness, the organization, the friendliness. That might be something that changed the game right there.
I realized the American government
get some
uses
backlash for that.
propaganda to create a false narrative to manipulate the American people is when I was a 19-year-old infantry Marine in Iraq, and my company was attacked by an IED on the way home from a mission, and I dislocated my shoulder, so I had to go to get x-rays at Camp Fallujah. And while I was at Camp Fallujah, I got to use one of the satellite phones, and I called my mom, and I told her, hey, I just got blown up in an IED, and I dislocated my shoulder. I'm at Camp Fallujah. And she said, what are you talking about? I'm watching Fox News and CNN and MSNBC right now, and they all say Camp Fallujah closed. And this was the year 2008, when everybody, especially George Bush, wanted to make people believe that we were winning the war in Iraq. But if you didn't know this, we were not winning the war in Iraq. And so they told everybody that they were closing Camp Fallujah, one of the largest military bases in Iraq, to say that we were winning the war. When in reality, I was at Camp Fallujah getting x-rays for the injury that I sustained in combat. And they just kind of moved the Marine base to Camp Ioria, which is like just 2 miles down the road. So they never actually closed Camp Fallujah, but they made this big fuss in the media to say they closed Camp Fallujah and that we are winning the war in Iraq. And I was on the phone with my mom and said, I'm getting x-rays because I dislocated my shoulder. Because we're not winning this war. And that was the first time that I realized the American media would just lie in order to create a false narrative that the American government gives them so that the people believe things are okay. We were not winning the war in Iraq. And that just made me realize that the media is going to lie to you. You have to interrogate your own sources. You have to go see it to believe it. It's why I went to Ukraine. It's why I went to Syria. It's why I've been to Israel. It's why I go to these countries to go see these things for myself. That's how it works. You're supposed to interrogate your sources. You're supposed to do your own research. You're supposed to be critical and not just believe the things that people tell you.
It's all fun and games until that robot switches a switch and it don't turn off. It's all fun and games. Whoops everyone's ass over there.
$5,000. I would have thought it was more than that. Ooh, cuz you gonna fight me. Oh, yeah. Hell no. Are you trying to try some this now? Hey, chill out.
I know he said, hey, chill out. Hey, we got hot coffee here.
Put a magnet to your head.
It's gonna be war one day, y'all.
This thing is crazy.
Probably already is going on in Israel and Russia. I already got those robots fighting for them, I bet. Clearing houses. If it's doing that and they're letting us see that, things clearing houses in war. Militant.
The algorithm, you know what I'm saying? The 808. The 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that means it's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there that is fucking up your entire frequency.
What's the point of music? Niggas don't know. It's not always to have fun. It's not always to have fun. Sometimes it's to help people find themselves, because music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? And to see that I'm really actually helping people, bro. Let me be detailed. At 15 years old, I was doing sound engineering. So I was playing with frequency. I was playing with equalizers. Now, I think it's it's not a sonar wave. I forgot. It's like an alpha wave or a sonar wave or something like that. I figured out that hertz is to understand the frequency vibration, right? So there's kilohertz. Well, sorry, there's hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, right? And then I think it's ultra hertz. If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind.
The plane that flipped over a few months ago from Delta, where everybody survived, is now being sued by one of the flight attendants for $75 million. This woman right here, who was a flight attendant on that plane that flipped over, is now suing Delta Airlines for $75 million. She is saying that Delta placed profits over safety, and that because of them, that is the main reason that the plane ended up failing, crashing, flipping over, and lighting on fire. Now, the Transportation Safety Board found that when the plane hit the ground, a side stay attached to the main landing gear fractured, and the landing gear folded back, a wing fractured, detached, and that's when it caught fire and flipped over. Now, all 80 people on board survived, and at least 21 ended up going to the hospital, and this flight attendant was among one of them. She said that she was knocked unconscious, soaked in jet fuel, and fell when she exited the plane because the emergency slide had not deployed. So you guys tell me, do you think she will win $75 million, and do you think she deserves it, or should it be more?
I think so. Soon. Right? So tired of these damn companies, y'all, ripping us off for profit. And they use the pandemic as an excuse. From interest rates to gas prices to house prices to, planes going down because they're cutting costs on profits and using cheap things, building brand new houses and using cheap things for profits. I got a little bruise over here, y'all. I was changing Mama Bear's oil and hit the hell out of my elbow. But I am just so sick. Are you guys tired of this? Is it ever going to go back? Now, I'm sure it does, right? History repeats itself, and this has happened before and went up and it goes back down. But these people are just milking. Like McDonald's is finally coming out saying, we're going to lower prices. Hopefully everyone else follows suit. But damn, man, they're just milking us.
Found out that the reason why people love dogs more than humans is because they are all narcissists or very close to being narcissists. Yeah, there was a psychological study done on those people who just idolize dogs. They love them more than humans. They'll save the life of a dog before they save the life of a human. It's because they are narcissists or have a lot of narcissistic tendency, borderline narcissists. The dog will not hold them accountable to anything. So to the dog, they will always look like a righteous person, a person who's always doing good. Even when they have done something bad, they can always count on their dog to still be there and look at them as an awesome person because they're their owner. When they do something bad, they know that humans are going to call them out. So they avoid humans, or they just strongly dislike humans because they know humans will call them out. Dogs don't have the capability to do so. Here's the big one. Dogs will love them through anything. No matter what type of human being they are, the dog will still love them through it. Humans will not. The second that you show yourself that you are a certain person or you're weird or you're this, anytime you need any type of accountability, humans will hold you responsible, and narcissists don't like being held responsible. They don't like being told that they're bad. They don't like being told anything that creates accountability in their life. Humans will do that. Dogs won't do that. So bottom line is, dogs will love them through their foolishness and their mess. Humans won't, so they'll choose dogs over human. This is a psychological study, by the way. Now, before the dog lovers get in the comments talking crazy, I want to say that this is a disclaimer. This is for people who value dogs' lives over human lives, not just people who love dogs. If you love your dog, love your dog. Specifically talking to the people who value dogs' lives over human lives. Also, if y'all think about it, the most evil people in human history had dogs.
Texas here, the big tall one is Kachina woman. She's the divine feminine energy vortex. The shorter one on the other side over there is Warrior Rock, the divine masculine energy vortex. The whole place is the balance, or the yin, the yang, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. So this is the only place like it on the earth. It's one of the most powerful, spiritual, sacred, magical places on all the earth, and you're up here in it.
Thank you.
So open your heart and let what needs to come into you come into you. And remember, each one of us has a different balance in the divine feminine and the divine masculine. If anybody else ever has that, it never will have, because we're all totally unique beings in the history. So never be like anybody else. Be you, be you. I need to be me. When we're being ourselves, we're perfect. When we're trying to be like somebody else, that's just a copycat. That's a waste of our time. When somebody tell you have to be a certain way, well, thank you, and then turn around and send love, because they're not where they need to be, and that's okay.
You followed you. You followed you. That's the best I can tell you.
Thank you so much.
Now this guy, I've met this guy, right? Twice. And he goes on top of that rock. You'll see when we come back and plays that flute every single day. And there's people at that vortex, and he hands out rocks, carved from, the red rock in their hearts, hands them out to people. That backpack's full of them. And he climbs up that thing and plays that flute every day, y'all. You can find that vortex. You'll see that dude coming. He talks to everybody, gives them a rock. And man, this dude, he's always on those rocks out there, y'all, playing the flute. And what's crazy about this vortex, when you're walking up, like the trees are regular, and the higher, it's not like a long hike. Like it's probably 500 feet to get, from where you park to the vortex, right? But as you're walking up, these trees, like, see how they're showing the trees? They start getting twisted and turned and just deformed looking the higher you get. And when I got up to the top of that, there's like I'm trying to think of the word, like an altar. There's like an altar up there, y'all. And I could just see, like, they used to do something right here. They used to do like a sacrifice. It looked like a stadium. It looked like the altar right here. And then out there is just where all the people would come and gather and watch. And that energy there is crazy, y'all. The energy is just crazy. I'm telling you, these vortexes in Sedona, they're the real deal.
Yo, is this the real sun? This is a NASA patent for a sun simulator. You can see the pattern. Now I want you to focus on this part right here. To me, this part resembles an LED light. Now this is a red light that I have in my house. I use it at night, just more calming. Now if you take a picture of an LED light, it'll actually cause a little reflection in certain parts of the screen depending on where you move the camera angle. And this is a reflection of that LED light. Now I started doing that with the sun, and you can test it for yourself. There'll be this little green dot that actually reflects, which is a reflection of the sun. You'll see it in your camera. And I started taking pictures like this every day, trying to catch one clear enough, but they were all blurry. And one day I caught the sun going behind this mountain, and you can see how crystal clear that is. This is what it looks like zoomed in. Now we're gonna compare that with the NASA sun simulator patent. Yeah. Oh, the literal biblical Hebrew word for deceive is nasha, or NASA. We know they're deceiving us about the shape of the earth, but what else are they deceiving us with? Now, I don't know for sure if this is actually a sun simulator, or if that's the real sun that Yahuwah created, or if the real sun Yahuwah created is behind that sun simulator, powering their false one. Because the sun has very powerful healing benefits. And of course, right now, they're trying to get everyone sick and diseased. Go out in a day where it's bright like this, where there's barely any clouds in the sky, where that thing is just beaming. Go out in the sun for an hour or two, and let me know how you guys feel, because I could just be overthinking it, and that's why I'm actually coming on here. I want to ask you guys, like, yo, is this the real sun? If you guys got any research on this, please let me know, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and the truth shall make us free. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. And Yahuwah barak you.
This was the moment everyone found out he's not a good guy. This is James Franco, you know, the movie star guy. Girls were simping over him, most known for his role in Spider-Man. He loved acting. Him and his brother were in a ton of movies. Actually, he loved acting so much he started his own acting school called Studio 4 to teach and help young aspiring actors to be just like him. But right before opening up his studio, one day he leaves an award show and sees a ton of fans and takes pictures with them. One girl in particular, she tags him in the photo and he sees it and he texts her and asks to hang out. He asks asked for her age and she says 17. But he didn't care. He still wanted to meet up at a hotel, but she didn't believe it was really him. So she asked him to take a picture holding up her name so she knows he's not fake. And this got leaked everywhere and everyone's angry, but of course he denied the rumors. He says, you know, social media is tricky. I'm still trying to figure it all out. It's really nothing, guys. And a lot of people were upset about this, but gave him the benefit of the doubt. Until a few months later, he was at an award show during the Me Too movement and he wore a Time's Up pin to show support. The point was to show it's time's up for those people who committed crimes and it's time for them to be exposed. That's when Scarlett Johansson saw this and she started calling him out left and right. Calling him out, saying, how can you act like you support the cause when privately you're the problem? For you to wear a pin after doing exactly what the whole movement is against is crazy. He came out again and said, look, all the things they're saying is not exactly true. I just wanted to show support to the people. And people still believed him, so he decided to open up a studio for young aspiring actors that want to be just like him. But it was more like a Diddy studio. He would tell women actors that if they performed explicit scenes, he would give them more opportunities. And shortly after, 5 women came forward and accused James of SA and abuse of power over their careers. And he was ordered to pay them millions of dollars in settlement. He was cooked. He came out 4 years later, finally acknowledging it and admitting that he has an addiction. And still makes movies now, but has not been looked at the same.
When you're in the NBA, it's a lot of things that you want to say, that you could say, but you know if you say it, there's gonna be repercussions. You could get in a lot of trouble. For example, a couple years ago when I played for the Houston Rockets, I tweeted "Free Palestine," and I dang near got kicked out the league for it. And I'm like trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, obviously, before that, the conversation happened with some Palestinians, and they were telling me, I actually went to the movies one day. I was in the movies in Houston. A whole bunch of Palestinians was like, hey, man, we're big fans of you. Can we watch movies with y'all? So I'm like, cool, man. You know, when I was in Houston and Orlando and a lot of cities I played in, I would take fans to movies. I would take them to main event, do big events at David Buster's and stuff like that. So we go to the movies. After the movies, I'm taking pictures with all the, you know, fans and stuff like that. And they asked me to just bring some awareness to their what's going on in their country. So, you know, me having a big heart, I'm like,
the Christian thing to do.
Yes, I'm like, you know what? I want people to know the struggles y'all having. You know, I don't think it's wrong. So I tweet "Free Palestine." Less than 10 minutes after I tweet that, I get a call from the commissioner of the NBA.
Stop it.
Agents, people like working with my foundation at the time, Texas, you got to erase this tweet. You got to take this down.
You know what's crazy? Like seeing that. Remember Dwight Howard? The smear campaign that came on with him? And then now he's out the NBA. I think he's playing in that Ice Cube 3-on-3, Big Three or whatever. But a lot of allegations came out of him, you know, messing with the LGBT side of things, right? And he denied it. I believe he did an interview saying, or even if he didn't deny it, but he's like, why is that your business? I don't remember. I saw an interview with him. I don't know if he was denying it or he was just saying like, what happens with me and what I do in my private life has nothing to do with you. I don't remember what it was, but they always say blackmail, right? And that's always the thing that they blackmail you with, right? And he's put this tweet out. I don't know if that allegations came out before this or after this, but it's kind of fishy that came out and they smeared him and he was out of the NBA. Now, I know he was getting older and whatnot, but still, he was kicked out the NBA or suddenly just left the NBA and he had all that, you know, dirt on his record, right? It's a cold game, y'all. All these athletes, all these movie stars, they got to follow the script. And it's starting to trickle down into this YouTube world, the streaming world. They got to follow a script and feed everyone lies. Not over here.
This is massive. The future of antibiotics could be changed forever thanks
to AI. That's because scientists from MIT have just used artificial intelligence to invent 2 new types of antibiotics, which is something that hasn't been done in decades. And not only that, but they say that it will, quote, spark a second golden age of antibiotic discovery. But why this is so significant is that these 2 new types of antibiotics are reported to have the capacity to fight infections which are resistant to current available medications. And those infections are associated with about 5 million deaths per year. And we're at this point because the same antibiotics have been prescribed for decades, allowing bacteria to become resistant, forming what's known as superbugs. But that's possibly all about to change, because through the use of generative AI algorithms, it says researchers have designed more than 36 million possible compounds and scanned them for antimicrobial properties, which successfully led to the discovery of new antibacterial molecules that are distinct from any other antibiotics currently available on the market. Now, despite how huge that may be, they still have several rounds of refinement and testing will still need to take place. But hopefully this could hit the market within the next few years, and this is considered a significant medical breakthrough.
To me, it's just absolutely mind-boggling how people don't see this. Eat a salad, basically of wild food. I started, after getting really sick 14 years ago, thinking totally different, that I had to have security in my food supply. And the more I learned how to make that food supply secure, the more I learned it was simpler and simpler all the time. I've got enough food here to last me all summer. I love eating these things. I eat these in a salad every day. These plants are growing here for our benefit. The dandelion is the best thing to eat for your liver. And I'm getting the right amount of nutrients from these wild foods. I started feeling like I was coming back to life. I noticed the last few years now that I don't get burnt by the sun or bothered by the environment like everybody else. I've been doing this for 12 years now, eating free food. Nature provides you so much. Expand your knowledge by learning what you have around your neighborhood.
And I have a good luck charm. I have like a little bag with all my teeth in it. I know that sounds really stupid, but I do.
Wait. You have a bag of your
teeth? My teeth. And I brought it with me. I actually have it, because I live in New York, and when I came to Los Angeles, I don't go anywhere without my teeth.
Without you?
Yeah. Do you want to see my teeth?
Oh, come on, you know.
See, this is a little bag. And then I grab onto it when it's like, I grabbed the hand from the person sitting next to me. Sure.
This is a cute little bag to hold some old, nasty, rotten teeth in. How old are these teeth?
Oh, I have baby teeth. They're kind of black because I ate a lot of sweets. And I didn't like brushing my teeth when I was little.
Don't
I show you some of my teeth.
Could you say? Oh, Lord have mercy.
See that? This one is a big one. That's a wisdom.
I'm not touching it.
Let me see. See, this is like.
You're serious? You saved all your.
That's like a little one.
Yeah, that's a little baby tooth.
That's a little baby tooth. Baby tooth, big tooth. That's like. I know. I have like lots more in there.
Yeah, that will really help. When you crash, they can identify your dental records really easy. Now, what's interesting is the baby teeth is really cute, but the big one with the fangs hanging down, that was kind of scary right there.
It's funny how it's like witchcraft, y'all. Right there on national TV. He makes a joke about it. The clap and cheer signs, lights come on, the audience cheers, which makes us, the audience, sit back and giggle along while they just told us what they do. Because guess what? They have to tell us what they do. They have to. That's the pact. You got to tell them the truth on TV and movies and music. You got to tell them the truth. And that's how they tell us, through a joke. And everyone laughs. That couldn't pass in now. Now the cat's out the bag. Now she's straight up on there saying she's doing witchcraft. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing now. So now the cat's out the bag, y'all. But I don't know. Creepy.
This is the story of how one man tricked the entire Las Vegas Strip into believing that he was Justin Bieber. And this is scary. Let me explain. So, over the last few years, we've seen a growing subculture of celebrity lookalike influencers. And these are content creators that their entire identity is looking like another person. And some even make a full-blown career out of it, signing autographs, doing paid appearances, and even fooling paparazzi. But when Justin Bieber showed up to this high-end nightclub in Vegas, nobody questioned it. And where this happened was the XS nightclub, and this isn't just a small little venue. This is one of the biggest luxury nightclubs in the world, where celebrities perform pretty much every weekend. And on this night, Justin Bieber was spotted around the Las Vegas Strip, so the fake Justin and his fake team went up to the stage and convinced the DJ Griffin to let him do a surprise set. And people filmed the whole thing, but it wasn't Bieber at all, who is a French social media personality who made a name for himself by impersonating Justin Bieber. And after doing some research, I found out that this guy's been doing this for years. And the craziest part is he even went as far as getting all of the exact same tattoos as Justin Bieber. He studied Justin's outfits, his mannerisms, how he moves on stage, and through his dedication of being Justin Bieber, he became Justin Bieber. He convinced the nightclub into giving him a section, and he even ran up over a $10,000 tab that he never paid. And once they found out that it wasn't the real Justin Bieber, he was immediately kicked out of the venue. And judging by how Dylan has not posted on his social media since this happened, I'm sure there's a lawsuit that he's dealing with currently. If a fake Justin Bieber can convince one of the most luxurious and high-end nightclubs in Vegas, how many other times have we been fooled without even knowing?
I mean, how do they not know? Like, if you're a diehard Justin Bieber fan, I don't even like Justin Bieber, but I can tell that's not him. Right? Like, how asleep are these people that they go and take a picture with him and maybe they're drunk in Vegas? Maybe they know, and I don't know, y'all, but you couldn't pull that on me. You couldn't pull that one on me. Pay to go see him, and that ain't even him. Like,
Morning that I want to share on here happened at my barn a couple weeks ago when I was outside here in the garden minding my business, and I heard a truck pull in. The truck was labeled as a utility truck. It wasn't even labeled for National Grid, who is the only electric provider in this area. And the guy in the truck got out of the truck and was about to just help himself to the side of my barn when I had to basically say, hey, hello, who are you? What's going on here? And he goes, oh, I'm here to replace your current meter. I'm going to put in a smart meter. I said, first of all, what? Second of all, nobody told me you were coming. He showed up unannounced to basically sneakily help himself to my meter to make sure that smart meter got in there. Since I was here, I declined the smart meter. By declining it, I now have to pay a fee of $11 a month or so. How this meter works, a smart meter, is it would beam personal electric usage data information from my structure to National Grid whenever they want it. Well, guess what happens every time that information is beamed to them? It gives off a radio frequency. Something told me to just say no to it that day, and I'm so glad I did because lots of people have written into me on social media telling me the RFs given off from these smart meters are enough to disturb, harm, or confuse local pollinators. Well, guess where my meter is? This is coming at the same time of New York State outlawing any future builds that are plugged into oil, propane, or anything other than electricity. They're trying to make sure all new builds, especially barn-dominium builds, are plugged into the grid and that they're able to beam info about you to their company whenever they want. For the record, I decline the smart meter. Be on the lookout if someone's going to help themselves to your house. They might just change your meter out without even asking you. I will gladly pay $11, $12, whatever, $15 a month, whatever it's going to be to make sure all of the bees and butterflies, moths, dragonflies, everything I have encouraged and invited to my property is safe here.
Now right here is the Chronicles of Georgia, and until today, I didn't even know this existed. Now this looks like an Iron Age mystery, but it was actually built in 1985. 16 towers of stone and bronze telling Georgia's stories of Christianity and the royals. There even seems to be depictions of some sort of Anunnaki figures on the structures. Of course, this is my own individual observation, but you can see some very interesting figures. Obviously, we see Jesus on the cross. We see some royals and all that stuff, but there is some, like I said, Anunnaki-looking figures like this. Now, there's another theory that this is an ancient structure, and they just said that they built it in 1985 and used cranes and all that stuff, but who knows? I'm not 100% sure. I never believe what I hear from the mainstream, but if anyone has any, information on, the Chronicles of Georgia, let us know in the comments down below. And as always, like, share, and follow.
Kids Up for Sports and realized we fucked up. We signed up both of our sons for tackle football, and now we are doing 8 hours of practices a week, right around the times of 5:30 to 7:30. Well, as many as you may know, 5:30 to 7:30 is dinner time, so we don't have time to cook, so what we have to do is we have to meal prep on Sundays and have everything ready for when we get home at 8 from the drive. Now, if any of you guys have ever had kids in football, then you will know that they smell like piles of shit after every single game, so now that is laundry added every single day. let's just say, as much as we love having our kids in sports, we want to kind of blow our brains out.
Jeez.
I just saw that Justin Timberlake came out publicly and said that, he's been battling Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Now, my cousin, was, he's in his 60s and he was starting to have a lot of problems. I go on this motorcycle trip every year, and half of his face got paralyzed. His hand, that side of his body wasn't working either. His hands. And as we were leading up to the trip, I said, I'm not going to listen. I'm no doctor, but I said he's having a stroke or a heart attack or something. So I flew him out to the Mayo Clinic. They did all the tests on him, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him.
He spent 3 days in their cardiac unit. Yeah.
Exactly. And again, no bullshit. Fuck what I lie for. We were at a bar in Tennessee, and he was getting, worse and worse and worse. I said, I called my assistant and I said, call Gary Brecka right now. Send David's blood work to Gary Brecka and ask him to look at it for me. I shit you not. In 30 minutes, Gary calls me. I'm still at the bar. He says, yeah, this is plain as day. Your cousin has Lyme disease. That's what he has. He has Lyme disease. And how, he's from the Northeast, and, how he couldn't. Gary sent over a protocol while we're on vacation on this motorcycle ride. Within 3 days, my cousin David started looking better, feeling better, completely cured him. It's not even an issue for my cousin now.
What the?
I wonder, my Mama Bear's brother-in-law, I forgot what she said happened to him. Something happened, but it wasn't a stroke. It wasn't a stroke, but I forgot what it was. I need to figure it out, but I'm going to look into this, that like his face, like the left side of his face is like numb. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that, but he didn't have a stroke. And I know the doctors told him to quit drinking and quit doing all these things. And when we were at a birthday party recently, he's like, man, I was doing that and I just felt depressed. I wasn't. So he's drinking, right? He's like, fuck with that. Forget what that doctor said. Like, I'm gonna drink. But I wonder if that would be something that maybe, he's attracted was that Lyme disease. I wonder if that might be an option. I'm gonna have to tell her about that. Send her this clip. And I know her sister is always on TikTok. So maybe send her sister that clip and that could be it. You know what I mean? Because they don't know what it is.
Burning CDs, somebody asked. And how hard does that hit you in the chest, right?
I was there 3,000 years ago.
I mean, there's people out there that have no idea.
That's from Lord of the Rings.
What burning CDs actually is.
No.
It's crazy because it's such commonplace for us.
What's crazy is it will never happen again.
That was a short period in the grand scheme of time.
Or somehow we were involved in the exchanging of music.
When did everything go digital?
When the iPod and all that happened, that's when it ended.
Yeah.
And then the iPhone.
But what really did it was the streaming. Because, we could download music off of iTunes a long time before we could stream it.
Even if you couldn't stream it or steal it, like it almost got to the point where the convenience of having it in my hand, I'd pay for it. I went through a period where I was buying shit. After I had went through periods of stealing shit.
It's crazy because, I used to have a fat library of music.
Me too.
Shit that I had ripped off LimeWire, stuff I had purchased. Remember, you could copy somebody's CD. You bring your CD over, I can rip that right into my computer.
Oh, bro.
I'm taking that. Let me get that. And now, got new computer after new computer. That music is on a hard drive somewhere I haven't even looked at in years.
Me too.
But burning CDs, man, that's true nostalgia right there.
I mean, I still have my Xbox 360. Like anyone that had the Xbox 360 and you went to the music part and it played all the digital, different colored, DMT type trips while the music's playing, I still got that, y'all. I haven't pulled that out and listened to all my old school, because you used to have to, we download on LimeWire onto a CD and then put the CD into the Xbox and then download it onto the Xbox. Back when Xboxes had 1,000 freaking gigabytes of data, right? Now they got 50, one video game, and that's it. If you want more, you got to pay an arm and a leg. But man, I used to burn a lot of CDs, y'all. A lot of CDs. Never at my house. Always at the friends across the street, because I ain't messing up my computer.
Noah's Ark. The whole Earth is Noah's Ark. We are right now currently on a ship in space on top of water. I hope that helps.
The citizens of McDonaldland versus the Hamburglar.
Order! Order in the court!
Your Honor, the accused Hamburglar was caught red-handed, sneaking off with a big bag full of McDonald's delicious cheeseburgers.
That's serious.
My nephew is in that bag. Order! Hamburglar, what do you have to say for yourself?
A likely story.
He's guilty! Hamburglar, this court sentences you to 1 week without McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Isn't that rather severe?
Oh, well, 1 week without rutabagas then, you know. Now, let's all adjourn.
To McDonald's for cheeseburgers.
To get a cheeseburger, you know.
There's no money in music.
There's
The
no
actual
money.
music.
There's no money in music.
There's no money in actual music because in the digital era that in the era that we're in now, streaming era,
Yeah.
I want people to understand it takes 80 streams on Apple Music to make $1. You have to listen to this song 80 times to make $1.
Wow.
So if you understand that,
Who's listening to the same song
You
80
see what I'm
times?
saying?
Yeah.
That's what the machine is. That's where you get people to like all the bots to listen to all your stuff a million times. That's how you get it up. But if we just looking at the streaming numbers, we're not in a place where music itself grosses from streaming.
Mhm.
So you have to have physical copies purchased. You have to have merchandise. You have to tour. You have to do brand partnerships, and you have to establish yourself beyond your artistry.
So what is the music? It's just like a billboard, or is it,
It's your foundation. It's what you market. It is what your face is too. But it's not the way you make your money.
Right.
And that's the worst case scenario is somebody who invests fully only in their music and have no other ventures, because you'll be dead broke.
Mm-hmm.
Dead broke. Because what you put into music, you don't always get back. You almost never get back. Honestly.
Do you know, Stephen, who is by far the most dangerous individual that a woman will ever meet in her life?
The most dangerous person she will ever meet is another.
You're already off.
Okay, I don't know.
Her husband. A husband is the most dangerous. And then the overwhelming number one reason that might drive him to domestic violence all the way to homicide is suspected or realized infidelity.
I'm a true crime addict, and the stat is always in these true crime shows that I think it's 70% of the time when a woman goes missing, was murdered, it's the husband.
Exactly.
If you guys like true crime, second channel, link below. We do reactions to true crime, real life, police, cameras, all that on my second channel. Go over there and check me out, y'all. I'm trying to grow out there. I'm trying to get a new channel going, y'all. Something different from over here, what we do over here, right? So don't expect this mindset over there, right? Go check me out over there. Appreciate everyone that already has. Salute.
Into the realization that the lottery is capped.
Just now? You just came to the
I don't
realization?
think it's cap though.
Shit cap as hell.
No,
man.
it's not.
What?
Think
It's
about
not
this, Holly.
cap.
Not one time have you been out and they be like, yo, you see a dude over there? He the one that won the lottery, 300 million. You never seen him at the dealership tripping. You never seen a story about them buying franchises, buying buildings.
Always go broke.
You never seen no
They
no
can't.
story. What you mean
Why
they
can't
can't?
Because you never heard about the guy that like claimed his lottery and then went and did his public like and then they killed him like 4 days later. Y'all wouldn't see me either if I won the fucking lottery. What are y'all talking about?
Listen to me. Think about this. All three of us have done this before. We say, yo, if I hit the lottery, I'm gonna give you $1 million. I'm gonna get you this. You already giving that money up.
Right.
You telling me in the history of lottery winners, everybody want to be unanimous? So ain't one person hit the lottery and he just like, hell yeah, I want you to know me. Not one?
So what you're saying,
Especially
you
when
think
niggas win. You know they gonna show off.
but so you think that it's cap in the sense of like it's being made up, like they're just making up these random people, or
What people? Everybody be like, like I keep saying unanimous, anonymous.
Beats 4.
Let me ask you this. One of the most shocking things that you were sharing was when you started to deal with Michael Jackson. That was one I've never forgotten. In fact, it was the Bone Thugs. I remember Bone Thugs. I remember Jay-Z. But Michael Jackson, that one is the one that threw me. Do you look back at that and say, hey, maybe I was going too hard. Maybe I was reading into it.
Well, they used some of it, my research in his court cases, so I don't think I was going too
really
far. Yes, sir. Yeah. Wow. And it was what God revealed to me that he was doing. And not just him, but anyone who, submits to the Aleister Crowley's, teachings, because he taught musicians how to channel an old one, Nephilim, old one, to become famous. And that's what people don't realize. Like, if Jay-Z or somebody walks in a room, people just faint or gasp or, oh,
yeah.
Beyonce walks in a room a whole night.
Yeah.
Them homosexuals.
Yeah.
You know how they do the Beehive folks. They just,
it's crazy.
And you wonder, like, because of music, the band director plays at the school. Ain't nobody screaming for Teacher Willie that teaches the choir. He got some nice music.
Yeah.
But nobody's screaming and falling out. There has to be something else. Where there is something else, these guys are taught by Aleister Crowley and the law of Thelema and those things that he was into, talking to a spirit called Lyme. He learned how to channel spirits from the flood. And so there are, through blood sacrifice, through pedophilia, through all of these things, these artists can welcome one of those old ones. Now, who are the old ones? These are the spirits from the angels that came down in Genesis 6, came down, mated with men, created beings. Those beings, God flooded the earth to destroy them. Some of them were 30 feet tall. Now, if you got a 30 foot tall being, he's going to get everybody's worship, And so these guys were used, I say guys, but these spirits were used to, or these Nephilim were used to getting praise and worship. They were gods, like Greek mythology and Roman mythology and even Yoruba mythology. These are all superhumans with superpowers, where they were half human, half angelic from another realm. Well, God drowned all of them during the flood. That's what the flood was for. That's why nobody could get in the ark with Noah, because everyone's blood was contaminated by this that had happened. And so nobody could get on the ark but Noah and his family, right? And so those, when they lost their bodies, their spirits were hybrid. So they can't go to heaven. They can't go to hell. They roam the earth. And that's why the Bible said they roam in they look for dry places. They're roaming the earth and they're looking for hosts. That was the creation of demons. They're not fallen angels. They're actually spirits, disembodied spirits. And so they're looking for bodies. Well, Aleister Crowley, Madame Blavatsky, those people that studied the law of Thelema, those people that studied the mystic arts and some of the lost books of Solomon, which, my part 14 of Truth Behind Hip Hop, I go in depth about Solomon. There's a lot about Solomon God showed me. Very interesting guy, to say the least. But they read his books, they get into his mysticism, and it taught them how to control spirits and welcome spirits in and become a host for them.
Oh my God.
Well, when these spirits that used to get that worship get in a person, now that person becomes polarizing. He walks in a room and everybody's like, oh, and music can't do that. A song, like if I release a song, that can't make you look at me that way. If I'm in a movie, that's not going to make you faint and pass out when you see me. There is a spiritual side of this because they've channeled an old one, and depending on which one it was, that's the level of, a power that they're able
eating raw.
That's what we're gonna do on our second channel in today's video. While you're watching this, that video will be up. I reacted to this before. It didn't get a lot of traction, but I feel like it is so real that this dude's reacting to. It's about Jay-Z. Go check it out. It's posted now. As you're watching this, it's up on my second channel. Link below. After this, go over there and check it out, y'all.
Food, fruit, vegetables is like one of the best ways to heal. But it's so expensive to be healthy in America. I don't think that a lot of us are honest about that. I don't care where you go, how much money you have in your bank account. You know damn well groceries get expensive.
After COVID, girls' teenage increased by 50%. When I first started working with kids in 2006, the statistic was like 13-year-old kids were connected something like 4 to 6 hours a day. And then now kids are connected for 13, 14 hours a day. They're on their phones. They're not given the opportunity to process these emotions across from somebody. To find that cornerstone. And that cornerstone's the key to the whole thing, right? The cornerstone of Christ. Those first moments where you start to say, I'm ugly, I'll never be popular, I'm not good enough. Once you get on that infinite wheel of despair, it's very difficult to jump off. And I believe that human interaction is the way to do that. That's what connects us. That's what creates, if you will, almost the net that saves us in the free fall that we move into. The human soul is fragile, and the result of a fragile soul is the self-loathing that moves into wanting to inflict pain to end that existence.
It's the dumbest fucking idea in the world. So you can get on this high-speed train that goes like 200 miles an hour to go to Vegas. The one from LA to Vegas is like, they've spent whatever, it's like a $9 billion project. Yeah. I'm making that up, but it's a lot of billions. Yeah. To go from LA to Vegas. They've been talking about it forever. And guess where you got to go to pick it up? Normal traffic.
Yeah.
It's an hour 45 to just get to the rail stop, park your car, go board the thing. By the time you fucking get there, you could have just stayed in your car. Like,
Right, you only got another hour and a half to go to Vegas.
It's absolutely embarrassing.
It's probably going to get us in trouble.
These are the emissions from an AI data center, specifically from Grok. The Grok is the AI engine that Elon Musk uses, and it's not good news. Yeah, so this was taken through an optical gas imaging camera, which can essentially see the gases that the human eye can't, and taken by Sharon Wilson with Oilfield Witness. And this was taken at xAI's campus in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, there are 33 of these gas-powered methane turbines, of which only 15 have permits at time of recording, which is a whole other story. But what we're seeing in these videos is an awful lot of heat. Big consequence of using AI. It uses a lot of machinery, it needs a lot of heat to power it. But we're also seeing something else, because if you pan up, you see these sort of cloud. Now, they can include things like uncombusted methane, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and carcinogenics. Basically, things that are horrendous.
I don't know what the total is going to be, but this is Chili's lunch right here. Right here, look. I've already eaten half the chips. That's still what's half left. They've brought an entire semi truck with a starter. Now the Eagles are playing. We got the Eagles playing. You know what we need? Some Florida Georgia Line playing.
Can't beat it, y'all.
You want them?
So there's a theory out there floating around that Jeffrey Epstein may have helped cause the 2008 financial collapse. And that sounds crazy, but there's actually a fair bit of pretty surprising evidence that there might be some truth to it. And it's a story worth telling, not just because it's crazy and it sheds light on the financial crisis, but also because it slides us right into the middle of Epstein's banking networks. Because not nearly enough people know just how complicit the biggest banks in America were with Epstein's operation. A lot of people don't realize that the head of all of JP Morgan's private client division once emailed Jeffrey Epstein from the hot tub on the island while Jeffrey was still serving house arrest in Florida, and he wrote them this whole email about how good of friends they are and how much he loves Jeff's island and how profound their friendship is. And that's barely even scratching the surface. So today, we're we're going to lay out everything we know so far about Epstein's bankers and the role that they played in funding the largest trafficking network in modern history.
Conspiracy theories are dangerous. Information is the oxygen of a democracy.
So reactions to this, huh?
Tell me something about weight gain, Dr. Lee, that nobody would know.
Weight gain does not start with your muffin top, all right?
What?
Or your thighs. Weight gain starts in a very subtle way, and this has been studied with clinical research. It's the visceral fat, the fat that's inside our body. You can't see it, that starts to grow early. So when you have too many calories and you overflow your fuel tank, the first fat that grows is inside your body. You can't see it. Can you guess where you start getting fat accumulating first?
The rear end.
It's not there. The first place anybody starts to gain body fat is in the tongue.
The tongue?
The tongue. The human tongue is made of 3 parts. You got the tip of the tongue, which is like a Cirque du Soleil acrobat. You got the middle of the tongue, which is really strong, packed with muscle.
Yep.
And the back of the tongue is a big fat pillow, a pillow of fat.
Yep.
A third of it is all fat to allow food that you've chewed up to slide all the way back down into your stomach. Okay.
Crazy.
And so the back of your tongue is mostly visceral fat. And when you gain weight and start to grow extra body fat, one of the first places that it grows is in the back of your tongue. Okay. The last third of your tongue. Now, how do you know this?
I was just about to ask you.
How do you know it? Is if your bed partner you're sleeping with starts to say, hey, you're starting to snore. Okay. You didn't snore before. You're starting to snore. So this is, by the way, studied in skinny people. What happens is that when you actually start to gain weight and body fat grows in the back of your tongue, you got a fat tongue. All right. Your tongue's getting fatter. Now, what happens when you're sleeping? You're relaxing, including your fat tongue starts to relax. And now your fat tongue is occluding your airways, is blocking your airway. So you wake up and you snort. You start to snore and you wake up and this is what your bed partner notices. So this has been studied in Scandinavia with thin people who are gaining weight and trying to figure out where is it beginning. And the telltale sign is snoring or being startled when you're sleeping because the tongue is the first place to get fat.
Well, that explains when you gain weight, you start to snore. When you lose weight, you stop snoring.
When are Europeans going to realize to stop pickpocketing Americans? Because there was this American lady who got her passport pickpocketed, and she went and found the girl who did it, and she dragged her by the ponytail. And she was not letting go either. Like, they were in the middle of the street, and you just see her, like, ripping the life out of the pickpocketer's ponytail. And I feel like I've seen this story way too often of, like, Americans getting pickpocketed in another country, and then all of a sudden they turn the tables and they beat their ass. Because, like, do we not remember what happened? What was that, like, the Paris Olympics, where, like, pickpocketers genuinely were getting beat up because they were pickpocketing Americans? Because the thing about pickpocketing is that it is not a thing in America, and it's mainly because of 2 reasons: guns and crazy people. Because obviously in America, people have a lot of guns, alright? So you're not going to risk your life trying to pickpocket somebody. Like, you know, if anything, you're just going to get robbed with a gun. But also, if you try and pickpocket somebody, more likely than not, you will just get your ass beat because people have nothing to lose. And because of that attitude, when an American gets pickpocketed in another country, they still have the, oh, I have nothing to lose, you know, attitude. So they will find you. And look, I know America, we have a bunch of fucking issues, yes. But the one thing we do not play about are pickpocketers, right? Because you will get your ass beat.
Be pickpocketing us out there, y'all. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. We're back. We're back. It was a nice trip. Glad to be home. Glad to get back on the video, back on a routine. I don't know what happened to my eye. Yesterday, or the first half of this video was done on Sunday night. Second half was today. Mama Bear stayed home today and I was itching my eye, and then I went to the restroom. I must have popped a vessel while itching my eye. Also, we got a bruise over here and we got a popped blood vessel. Segovia's going through it, y'all. Gotta leave a like for that. But get ready, y'all. Get ready for some live streams. They're going to be coming, but my live streams are going to be on my second channel, Segovia Reacts 2.0. The link is below. I want to give a shout out. We got a couple new members, right? I want to give a shout out to Missy Karika, Nurse Becky, Mark Tenari. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining over here. Anybody wants to join the membership, just hit that join, y'all. You guys are going to be getting some perks. When I start live streaming, you guys are top priority to become some mods, but you got to be active in the chat. You got to be active when I go live. I'm not really having a set schedule of when I want to go live, so I understand if you can't. But I'm going to be doing a lot of different live streams, y'all. I'm going to be outside washing my Jeep, washing, the yard. I'm going to be buying an electric fireplace. I'll be putting that together. So I'm going to make sure I live stream putting that together, doing things like that, y'all. Not just sitting here watching YouTube videos. Of course, we're going to be doing that too. Be watching videos like this, watching, I might go live and watch that dude that has that Jay-Z thing. That might be something to go live to, y'all. We might have to do that so I can give you guys, my experiences while we're watching that. That's where we're going to save it for. It's not going to be uploaded for a video. It's already uploaded, but we'll react to it while we're live. We're going to be doing that, y'all. So make sure you guys go down there and subscribe. But enough with the chit chat, y'all. I got to go. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.